Hi, good morning, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 509. If you're joining me live, please say hello. Let me know what you're doing this morning. Let me know if you have questions for me. And if you also watch the recorded version, please also feel welcome to do the same. I know most people watch the recorded version, and I would always love for you to feel just as interactive as with the live stream. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Lisa and Grace. Good morning. Thanks for joining me live. Trying a different time this morning. I'll explain in a few minutes. Wait for people to pop over. Thanks, Pamela. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Judy and Lily, Carol, Carrie. Thank you for joining live, everybody. Good morning, Petra and Dana. If you can see my desk if I back up a little bit. Maybe if I bring this down. Who knows? Hi, Grace and Lucy. Does it come down there? No. All right. Hi, Joe. I'm not going to mess with it right now. Hi, Melissa. Thanks, Pamela. So some of you may have noticed that I haven't done the podcast since Friday, and those of you that watched on Friday will remember that I had a weird bug bite on my finger Friday morning that was bothering me. Well, it continued to rapidly get worse over the course of Friday, and I was at the doctor's office or an emergency clinic by Saturday morning. Once I got to the doctor Saturday morning for the bug bite, turns out it was a spider bite, I got treated. He cut it open, drained it, gave me antibiotics, and sent me home. By Sunday morning, I had red streaks going all the way up my arm and extreme pain in my arm and my finger. So I went back to the emergency clinic on Sunday morning, only to find out that this crazy strain of bacteria and crazy bug bite had spread my finger infection into my lymph nodes, and that if I didn't get very strong antibiotic treatment right away, I could develop a blood infection and die. So it was very intense information to receive Sunday morning, because although I was in a lot of pain here, I didn't feel like I was dying. So I started getting 2 shots a day of a second antibiotic, did that every day for 3 days without any improvement. It wasn't until yesterday that the doctor decided that I was finally starting to improve, and I am now on just oral antibiotics, 2 sets, and just doing, and my arm's better, my finger's getting better, and so there. And I'm still tired, still really worn out. It's been a huge ordeal. In fact, every day the doctor would remind me that 100 years ago I would have died from this. He kept reminding me that if it doesn't get treated properly, I'm going to get hospitalized and could die from it. He was really trying to drive home how serious this was. So I got the message. Yeah, it could have turned to sepsis, Pamela, which is a blood infection. It stayed a lymph node infection, but it happened so rapidly. I mean, Friday morning, I noticed a bug bite. By Sunday, I was told I was in grave danger. So it really happened rapidly, but today is Wednesday, and I don't have any doctor's appointments today. I'm not getting any more shots. I'm on regular oral antibiotics now. No, I don't know what kind of spider it was. The only reason I know it was a spider is because there were 3 dots on my finger. And from Marlon's research, and he's the animal expert, he said the 3 dots is how he knows that it was a spider bite and not a different kind of insect bite. Nope, Lily, I don't even know how it happened. I woke up and had a finger bothering me. It was just as crazy as could be. And I asked the doctor, is there something I could have done differently? He said, nope, you just won the crazy bacteria bug bite lottery. That's it. He goes, you live in the tropics. We have tons of dangerous bugs here, and they get more dangerous every year. And you just happen to get the wrong bacteria at the wrong time with the wrong bug bite, and that's why this happened. He goes, it's no different than getting picked to win the lottery. And I was like, alrighty then. But anyway, today is the first day I'm starting to feel better. Still tired, but definitely feeling better. Thanks everybody. Thanks for the well wishes. I appreciate it very much. Thanks everybody. Thank you. For those of you not seeing the scrolling comments, I'm getting lots of well wishes and people saying that they're glad I feel better. So thank you so much. Oh yes, Barbara, I know how to take antibiotics. I will definitely be taking the whole amount. Absolutely. I know better than to stop taking them when I feel better. Hi, Janet. Thank you, Pamela. All right, so enough about that. Positive news is I'm getting better, feeling better, and all that can be behind me as soon as my antibiotics are finished. So, have better, more exciting things to share with you today. First of all, I launched the pre-order for the 52 Crochet Gifts ebook the other day, and if you are on my mailing list, you got an email about it, or if you visit my website, you saw it in a blog post, and I did share and so as I'm releasing the new patterns each week for the book, if you pre-order the ebook at the discounted price during the pre-order, you'll get an updated PDF download every week with the new patterns added, so that number of patterns will keep increasing each week until it's full. And if you prefer to just pick and choose which patterns you want, they'll always be available to purchase individually each week and stay in my single pattern shop. And they're going to be $1.99 each. So each of the patterns is available individually, or you can buy it in the ebook. While the ebook is pre-order stage, you get a discount on it, and we'll also get a coupon code to get a discount on the paperback when it comes out if you participate in the pre-order. If you don't, that's fine. If you want to wait and see if you like all of the patterns when the whole thing is released, then the ebook will be full price and the paperback will be full price, and it will be available all over the world. In the meantime, the ebook is obviously available all over the world. Digital is available everywhere, and it's on sale while in the pre-order stage. I know that's a lot of information, but it's the same thing that we did for the last books, Layers Crochet and Layers Knit. So if you remember how we did that, great. If not, and you have questions, by all means ask, and I'll wait a few seconds for anyone that has questions about that, and then I'll start showing you the first 5 patterns that we launched with the launch of 52 Crochet Gifts. But I'll wait and see if there's any questions first. Where's my water? So the book has 5 chapters: head, hands, neck, bags, and home. So head, anything involving the head; hands, anything that could involve the hands or the wrists; neck, anything that could involve this whole area. So I would include shawls, cowls, scarves, all that sort of thing. And then bags, self-explanatory; and home, any type of a gift that you would give someone for their home, something that you're just not wearing. So it could be so many other types of things. Still really broad range, really open-ended. So there'll be a great variety of patterns within each of those chapters as well. And so for the first launch, I did released 5 patterns, 1 for each chapter, but in the weeks going forward, I'll be releasing 2 patterns every week. So let me show you what we released for the first 5 patterns. The first one is the Evelyn earrings. How gorgeous are these? So each pattern comes with written instructions as well as full-blown charts, and you get all of that in the patterns. I will be doing video tutorials for everything as well, but as you can imagine, I've been sick, so it's going to take a little while for me to catch up, but I will catch up. You know that. You know I'm a hustler. What I did, real quick, what I wanted to show you about these, you can learn how to make the earrings in the pattern. We don't need to go over that here. But what I wanted to show you is that when you're attaching it to the jump ring and the French hook, you can make choices based on how you want the earring to present itself. If you want the earring, see, once you put it in, I have them set up right now so that the earring's going to go sideways. So in my profile view, you see the earring. And that's by adding 1 jump ring with the French hook. If you wanted the earrings to sit, and my hair is going to prove me wrong right now, but in general, they're going to sit like this with 1 jump ring, which I love that look for this size earring. If you wanted them to present this way, you would have to add a second jump ring. So you'd add a jump ring to the yarn, a jump ring to the jump ring, and then the French hook to the jump ring. So to make them face sideways so that you see the full view in profile, that's adding 1 jump ring. If you wanted to have them present front way, so 1 jump ring, 2 jump rings. Does that make sense, guys? I did this in 4 colors of Be So Fine yarn, and I added beads to the final round, and I love these so much. In fact, I'm gonna put them on. These are called the Evelyn earrings. They, like I said, they use Be So Fine yarn. They are with a very tiny crochet hook, and that's how you can get so many rounds of crochet and still keep it small. And you can imagine how light these are. So if you have those droopy earring holes in your earlobes like me, they won't weigh your earring. They won't weigh your ears down at all. And look at how cute they are. I love the 4 colors that I put together, but if you want to pick 4 different colors, that's fine too. If you have remnants of Be So Fine or Be So Fine yarn at home that from other projects, you could put these together. They take very little yarn to make. Or if you wanted to buy 4 tidbits of Be So Fine yarn, you would be able to make a bunch of different earrings for gifts. You could also change the color sequence so that they would look different or keep them the same. But they'd be pretty in 1 color. They'd be pretty in 2 colors. I don't think there's a wrong way to make them. And they use really simple stitches. So even if you're a fairly new beginner, you could totally make these in not very much time. In fact, I think if you wanted to make a handful of gifts, you could make maybe 10 pair of these over a weekend. They don't take long to make at all. Does anybody have any questions? That's called the Evelyn earrings. They are in 52 crochet gifts out now. And they are also available as a single download if you just want this pattern, not the whole book. Somebody just mentioned they'd be great for craft fairs. Yes, anytime you can figure out projects that look a little different than the norm but are low labor, that's where you can start thinking about making money in craft fairs. It's got to be low labor in order to make sense, right? And I think that when you go with a super fine gauge like this, most people's stuff at craft fairs is made with worsted weight yarn and thicker, bigger crochet hooks. Once you go really fine like this, it elevates your project to something way more sophisticated and way more elegant and way more professional looking. So I think you could really set yourself apart from the crowd if you made something like this for craft fairs. Low labor, meaning it doesn't take you long to make. And that fine gauge just makes them look so fancy and so elegant. So that's my 2 cents on the craft fair. Great comment, by the way. I'm glad somebody mentioned that, because when I think about writing gift patterns, whether it's for 80 handmade gifts or now for 52 crochet gifts book, it's really important to me that I help people who try to make a living at craft fairs. I started there and I know how hard it was to do. I couldn't keep up with supply because I was making really large shawls and buying boutique yarn at retail prices. It was impossible to make a profit. So, oh, there's going to be a necklace that matches this, don't you worry. And it's going to be more than a pendant, and you're going to freak out. It's so pretty. Can't wait to show you the necklace. It'll be coming out in another week of, in a different release of the book. Yeah, when you're thinking about making stuff for craft fairs, you want things that stand out from the other people there, and you want things that have low labor cost. I mean, low cost of yarn too, or supplies, but definitely low labor cost. That's the highest cost normally in making things handmade. Okay, what would be so the next chapter of the book is hands, and I made these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous fingerless mitts in Be So Soulful yarn in an amazing post-stitch pattern that actually looks like flowers. Can you pick up on the texture there? Isn't that gorgeous? And the way I dyed Be So Soulful yarn, just the nuances of the color, just, oh, I'm so in love with this texture. So this is the texture that I used for the cover of the book so far, but it's not a difficult stitch pattern. It's a 4-row repeat, and it's only front post double crochets. You're only doing post stitches on every other row, so it's just front post, not back post. So if you've never done post stitches before, I actually think it's a nice introduction to post stitches because you're not having to do so many of them. But that's my thought on it. It is just so beautiful and deceptively simple. It's not nearly as difficult as it looks, and I will be doing a tutorial on the stitch pattern to prove my point, and this is called the Rachel mitts. They're worked in rows, not rounds, so the stitch pattern is done in rows, then seamed up the side, then the cuffs are done in the round. Just ties it all together really nicely. I was having trouble pulling it off only because I'm so worried about touching my middle finger. Anyway, they're not that hard to get off. It almost looks like the Delta stitch. Yes, that's correct, Marcia, except look at how much more solid the fabric is. The Delta stitch would have been beautiful, but not very practical for a fingerless mitt because you want it to be an opaque pattern, not have holes in it. You want it to be a more dense fabric. And so something that's more solid fabric, so there's less room for wind to get in, would be a stitch pattern with less holes. And I thought this one really fit the bill. But it reminds me so much of the Delta stitch pattern as well, but in a less lacy format. This would be great for hats, cowls, scarves, all sorts of things. Oh, I should show you the back side. If you're going to make it into a scarf, once I teach you the stitch pattern, obviously you could use it for anything else. The back side's actually beautiful too. Doesn't look the same, but it's still pretty too. Which is important when you're going to do something where you're going to see both sides like a scarf. I think it's really important to know what it looks like on both sides. Because, I mean, honestly, you're going to see both sides, right? So that is the Rachel fingerless mitts. They are the second pattern that was released in the week 1 launch of 52 crochet gifts, but you can also find the pattern individually sold on my website. And all of this information is in my most recent blog post. So if you pop over to my website and click blog, you can get all the details on where all of the single patterns are, where the book is, and even find the book's actual page, which is where I tell you what you need for each pattern. So it's kind of a resource, and each week as new patterns are released, the book's actual page, kristinomdahl.com/52 crochet gifts. On that page, I will share the resources that you need, what size crochet hook, what kind of yarn, and how much yarn, and anything else that we end up using in the project. Okay, third chapter is neck. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. This is the Linda cowl, or Linda Mobius. And I used 2 colors of Be So Fine yarn that I thought were super close together so that it kind of looks stripey but kind of doesn't. So I picked Lilac Memories and Stormy Sea. I just thought it would look really cool with denim and with the kind of colors that I like to wear. And although I picked close together stripes, if you wanted to do more contrasting stripes, imagine this in black and white where you could really see those stripes and how this really changes, or like Pink Damask and Parisian Bordeaux, or Harbor Fog and Jaded Peacock. There's lots of contrast colors that would really make those stripes pop, especially for this edging. I did a really cool edging on this one where I took, and you're going to barely see it because of the colors I choose, but can you see those loops that almost looks like giant slip stitches? Yes, this is Be So Fine yarn, 2 colors of Be So Fine yarn. And I'm going to do the tutorial in contrast colors so you can see what I did. So I made really long crochet chains on the last row of this pattern, like, I don't know, chain 7, chain 9, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. And did that all the way around in one color. Then went back and did the whole thing again in the second color. And then you know how you can crochet with your finger and take a loop and pull it through the loop, take a loop and pull it through the loop. Well, I looped the loops all the way around, alternating both colors so it has a braided look. Can you see that? It's braided. Those loops are braided together. A simple braid, not a big, not a French braid, not a 3, like a braid with just looping the loops through the loop. And again, it's subtle because of the colors that I chose. But if you did this in contrast colors, it's really going to pop and you'll see it better. But can you see how it's thicker than the actual fabric? That's because it's braided. And when I do the tutorial, it's going to really pop, and I think you're going to, why I did that is because obviously you need contrast in the tutorial video, otherwise you won't see it. But I wanted to show you that it could be elegant and sophisticated and subtle as well as bold and graphic, because you have those choices. How does it turn into a Mobius? Oh, it starts with foundation ovals. So we do a loop of foundation ovals at the beginning, and then work in both rounds of the foundation ovals for the first round. And by working in both sides of the foundation ovals on the first round, you create that figure 8 formation. And from then on out, the whole thing is just done in one round, and that one round increases the top and the bottom from the middle foundation ovals. I've done this before in a couple of other patterns. This particular construction style I did, for example, in the Rio Mobius. I know a lot of you have already done it in some of my patterns. We've talked about it in the podcast before as well, but we'll go over it again in the video for this. And honestly, it's very self-explanatory in the pattern, so if you just want to dive in now, that's fine too. But this is done in 2 colors of Be So Fine yarn. I should try it on so you can see. So it does that little flippy like a good Mobius does. And it's a little longer, so you could stretch it out like that if you wanted to, or wear it down in the front. But super cute. Oh, kind of goes with my earrings. I forgot I have the earrings on. They weigh so little that I can't even feel that I have earrings on. How crazy is that? Okay, so that was the Linda Mobius, available in 52 crochet gifts or as a single download on its own, whichever you want. There's charts for the stitch pattern, and there are charts and a large photo tutorial, 9 photo tutorial on how to do that edging in the pattern too. Really helpful. All right, the 4th pattern, this is from Bags. This is the Phoebe pouch, and the design idea behind this was to make a gift pouch. So instead of wrapping paper or buying a paper gift bag at the store, I thought, what about making a gift wrapping? And as I started doing it, I was like, this is really fancy. This is a keepsake pouch. If you were to put something like a family heirloom or let's say you wanted to pass down a family heirloom to somebody. I felt like this is the way you would present that gift. So, I mean, it would be great as a gift on its own. You could fill it with yarn, you could fill it with jewelry, you could fill it with all sorts of things. But it's really special too. So I think that you could actually keep it for really special keepsakes too, to keep something protected. You handmade this with love. You're going to put something you love in it, and you're going to protect that loving thing in something loving. I thought that this had some dual purpose here, and I made it in really fine gauge. Like I used a really small crochet hook with half double crochet in the round to create a fabric in Be So Fine yarn that is so dense you don't need lining, which I thought was something that just kept it a little lighter. So it's more ruffly than a circle. Then it has eyelet holes for the drawstrings, 2 drawstrings added, then a beautiful simple edging with some gorgeous crystal beads. I did the crystal beads in the picots. And I did them in Vitriol Light, which honestly looks like little diamonds on the edge here. They're so sparkly. So then once you put something in it, I don't know why my desk isn't participating this morning with showing up on camera. Could I put, oh, I know what I can put up here. Man, I had so much to show you guys today. We're going to run out of time. Anyway, at least I'll get through the book projects. I wanted to talk to you about the canvas stuff too, but I guess we could save that for tomorrow. And I had a little tutorial. Oh, I guess I am feeling better. That's a lot of energy. Okay, so let's say that this is your keepsake. I've got 2 balls of yarn here, and I'm going to put those in the pouch, cinch it up. Look what happens when you cinch it up. It not only becomes this little morsel, how cute is that, but it ruffles the edging to create this beautiful beaded edging ruffle. And then you've got your tassel ties too. Just so beautiful. Yes, you could do this for an evening bag as well. I would just make your drawstrings longer. I didn't make the drawstrings long enough, and obviously you wouldn't stuff it this full either. But yes, you could definitely carry. Let's empty it out and put something smaller in it like you would carry in an evening bag. And yes, well, let's keep 1 ball of yarn in there. What the heck? You wouldn't keep it so puffy full like that one. Yes, that would be a beautiful evening bag. And I put beads around the edging there. You could also put beads up on the chains if you wanted. But yes, you could totally carry that as an evening bag. Yes. Isn't that adorable? That's called the Phoebe pouch. And that's also in 50 crochet gifts. Or if you just want that pattern, you can find it on my website as well. And it's with Be So Fine yarn in colorway Caribbean turquoise and Vitriol Light 4mm crystal beads. Okay, and then the 5th pattern is something that I think would make a wonderful housewarming present. Might make a great set to sell in craft fairs also, and that's coasters. I think if you made a set of coasters and tied a pretty ribbon around them so that to hold them together, I think it would make an adorable gift or something to sell at craft fairs. These are called the Faith coasters. Aren't they cute? They look like they have little polka dots in the centers. So easy and simple to make for a gift. I made 4 for the pattern, but you could make however many you think you need for something like this, but they make absolutely gorgeous coasters. Makes a great gift, especially if you need to do a housewarming gift. You want to bring a bottle of wine or a beverage of some kind and bring some coasters. Done, right? And how long does it take to make 4 motifs? Not that long. So the pattern includes the charts for these beautiful motifs as well as the written instructions, and just make as many of them as you think you need for someone. I think 4 is sufficient if you're under a time crunch and you just want to get them done. I don't think your present looks shortchanged by doing 4. I would do at least 4 though, but then you could do 4, 6, or 8, or 12 depending on how many you think someone needs. But I think a set of 4 coasters is sufficient for calling it a set of coasters. And these are done in Be So Serene yarn, colorway Tranquil. You could do them in different colors if you wanted. You could mix it up. These are in Be So Serene, 100% cotton. Figured the cotton was nice and absorbent for the condensation of glasses. You know, I thought about beading them, but I really wanted the fabric to be flat, because if you're putting a glass on it, you don't want them to get all bumpy on there. You could possibly bead the outer edge, but I would not bead anything in the center on these, because you want to make it safe for glassware. Yes, wonderful gift for co-workers, I think someone said. A housewarming gift, a hostess gift if you're going somewhere in the holidays, especially if you don't know the people. What else? I mean, if you're not sure what to bring someone, you could bring something like this, because it's so neutral. Everybody drinks, right? Everybody drinks beverages, whether it's water or wine. Everybody drinks beverages, so everybody needs coasters for their furniture. And this stitch pattern has a beautiful border that's very practical. It has some beautiful slip stitches around the border, which I think just really tighten it up and give it a nice solid edge. And that's called the Faith Coasters. You can order those individually, or they're part of 52 Crochet Gifts book. So those are the first 5 patterns that were released. At least we made it through all 5 patterns. I didn't get to the other stuff I wanted to show you, but I'll save that for another day. Does anybody have any questions about what I showed so far? And someone mentioned putting the coasters in the pouch. Yes, every week. I mean, I'm going to be sharing a lot of bag patterns in this book, and all the bag patterns work as gift bags, right? You can fill those bags with other gifts. That's the beauty of making a bag for a gift, is that it can be filled with other gifts, whether they're other handmade gifts or other store-bought gifts. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Tammy. Oh, I'm so glad you guys like all the patterns so far. I never expect everybody to like everything. You can't make something for everybody, but that's okay. But at the end of the day, we all like gifts, and we all make gifts, and we all give gifts. So, someone asked if something's going to be reduced in price if they order the ebook. I don't really understand your question. If you're asking about the single patterns are separate from the book. The ebook is discounted right now. The ebook is discounted during the pre-order stage, and it will stay discounted until it is released in full, along with the paperback being released in full. Then both of those are full price. How can we buy the book? You can get all the details on the whole promotion and everything on my blog, and you can also order the book in my book shop. If you go to my website, you can either find the shop or the blog pretty easy right at the top of the page. And I'll be sharing a link in the video description here as soon as we finish the podcast. But it's really easy to find. In fact, I'll post a link to it in the comments and pin the comment too. Oh yeah, Judy, all the future patterns are included in the pre-order. So once you order the pre-order, you'll get a new expiring download link for the PDF every week, and then new PDF will include the extra patterns. So you'll just be getting new patterns added to your PDF every week until it's full. Yeah, once you pay for the ebook, you just keep getting the patterns until you get all 52. Good question. Any other questions? Oh, good. Barbara gets it now. Wonderful. I know it's a lot of information. It's the same way we did layers crochet and layers knit if you participated in those pre-orders. You're welcome. My pleasure. Yeah, Yocasta, if you can't find it, let me know. The PDF's expired. Just the download link. You get the link. If you don't download it within 24 hours, the link expires and you have to ask for another link. just a normal way that websites automatically send PDFs. Yes, Barbara, now you can get started for Christmas holiday gifts. Wonderful. Yes, I'll post a link to the book when we're done. I should have posted it beforehand, but I forgot. Any other questions? Thanks, Lisa. No, Sherry, you don't have to pay for the link again if it expires. It's just the way that websites automatically send PDFs. It's for security purposes. The link expires, but if you don't download it if you get the email, you click the link and you download it. If you wait over 24 hours, the link expires for security purposes, and you just have to ask for another one. That's it. Once you've paid for it, you've paid for it. Good question. I know not everybody's familiar with expiring download links, but it is an industry standard for security purposes. So it is the way things work, but if you've never done it before, I'm happy to help explain it to you. These are great questions, guys. Thank you. Okay, that's okay. All right, let's see. All right. I gave away a ton of Create, Share, Inspire notebooks when I was giving away gifts for the 500th episode of the podcast last week. And the only two issues I have at hand are number 6 and number 7. So if somebody wants to pick a 6 or 7, Pamela says 6. So we will grab number 6. These notebooks are available on Amazon all over the world. Let's grab one. Gotta find something we haven't read. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a Chinese proverb. Don't you wish you had a nickel for every time I said, oh, this is a good one? I know I do. This is a Chinese proverb. The one who removes a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Isn't that wonderful? Baby steps, right? It's the same thing we talk about all the time. You don't become an expert at something overnight. I don't care what kind of guru on YouTube or Instagram tells you you can become an expert at anything overnight, whether it's losing weight or gaining knowledge, learning a language, learning how to crochet or knit or anything else. You don't become an expert at anything overnight. I remember years ago being told that you have to have a minimum of 10,000 hours put into something before you have a grasp of its concept. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Do you remember hearing that years ago? There was something about, maybe it was about being a professional. You can't be a professional. I mean, I guess you can be a professional technically, but there was something about once you've put 10,000 hours into something is when you really have a grasp of it. Pamela remembers that. I don't remember it, and I should shut my mouth because I don't want to paraphrase it or skew it too much, but there's something about that, and it just goes back to baby steps. You take baby steps, you add to them, and eventually you get somewhere. And being patient and kind with yourself and just keep moving forward, and you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish over time. Try to not listen to those people that give you the get-rich-quick schemes. I don't care what it's about, but I feel like we hear it in social media all the time. Oh, gain 1 million followers in 30 days. I just read that one this morning. I was like, no, that's not how it works. Or, lose 10 pounds in 10 days. Okay, sure, you can do that, but is it going to stay off? No. How long to grieve over a loved one. There's no set amount of time for anything. But that doesn't actually work on this point. What I'm trying to say, though, is that it's the little things that add up. you take a step forward every day, and you take that little step forward every day, no matter how small it is. And I promise you, you will get there. You will get there. You just have to keep moving forward and believing in yourself. Okay, so thank you to this Chinese proverb. The one who removes a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, right? Remember, it's okay to make small steps. Keep believing in yourself, keep being kind to yourself, and keep moving forward. And that is it. That's it. And put on those blinders when people start telling you your get-rich-quick schemes. And when I say get-rich-quick, I mean whatever it is they want you to figure out quickly. Yes, physical therapy for your shoulder, absolutely. Anything physical, anything healing. Someone else mentioned healing emotionally from something else. Yeah, everything is about the little steps. You're not going to complete your grief cycle overnight. You're not going to cure your shoulder overnight. You're not going to permanently lose 20 pounds overnight, and you're not going to become an expert at crochet or any other skill you want to learn overnight. It takes practice. It just takes practice, not giving up and believing in yourself. Well, we went totally over today, but I appreciate you all taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the show and tell. Oh, someone remembered the quote about 1,000 hours. That 10,000 hours is the magic number of greatness. Ooh, love that. Yes, that is fantastic. So thank you all again for all of your well wishes the last couple of days. It was kind of scary, but I'm so glad that I'm feeling better and so happy that all of you were here to support me and give me well wishes. So we're back to normal schedule tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed all the show and tells today, and I will talk more about the something else tomorrow that involved. I'm going to talk about something that has to do with canvases and with picots and some cute little motifs. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Anyway, let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.